Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Toledo and to the Toledo Lucas County Library. Now would be a great time, if you have your phones with you, to turn your ringers down, check into Facebook, and keep them out in case you hear something exciting that we're talking about today that you might be able to share it on your social media. Today, we have Carol Sobczak that's going to be giving us the invocation, and Heather Carnes will be leading us in the pledge. So if you two ladies will head up here to the podium, that would be great.
Good afternoon, President Cindy, fellow Rotarians. I want to read you a sentence I found online on Rotary International. Rotary started with the vision of one man, Paul Harris. The Chicago attorney formed the Rotary Club of Chicago on February 23, 1905, so professionals with diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas and form meaningful, lifelong friendships. So let us pray together, each one of us, according to our individual beliefs. Let us offer thanks for this food which nourishes our bodies, and for the fellowship and friendship of Rotary which nourishes our souls. Many times in our invocations, we celebrate our differences. Today, I would like to celebrate what we all have in common, friendship. Friendship is at the heart of everything that is Rotary. For how do we treat our friends? We tell them the truth, we are fair with them, we aim to build better friendships with them, and we act for the benefit of ourselves and our friends. So on this day, as we consider the state of our club, let us be reminded that friendship is what all Rotarians have in common, and it is what drives us to strive for service above self. Namaste, Shalom, Amen.
If you'd all face the flag, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Heather, and how appropriate for your invocation, Carol, as Carol is our chair for the Friendship Committee this year. So thank you both very much. As we begin the meeting, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsor for this month. It is DMC Technology Group, and thank Club Treasurer and Rotarian Pat Sheehan. We do still have some openings for starting after the first of the year. So if you're interested in sponsoring a month, please reach out to Jackie and she can let you know all the benefits that go along with that. Does anyone have any guests today? No, no guests today. All right. Oh.
There we go. I think the light came on, so that must be good, right? Thanks, Jim. It was a lie, but I told the truth. I'm here. Whitney Keeler from the Emmanuel School is our guest today. She submitted information online. Oh, not close enough. From the Emmanuel School?
Emmanuel Christian School.
Emmanuel Christian School, sorry. Here today and possibly join us more often. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt, and welcome, Whitney. Well, as most of you know, we have, or if you've been to the meetings, it's been quite a while that we've given a polio update, as things had been progressing pretty good, other than a few cases here and there in Pakistan and Afghanistan. But if you watch the news, you know that it's hitting a little bit closer to home now. So I've asked past President Tim Ryan to come up and give us an update.
Thank you very much. Do we have pictures up here? What do I do? Just okay. Hello, Whitney. Whitney, did we buy you lunch today?
You did.
Okay, so we can pick on you then, right? Is this the first time you've been to a Rotary meeting?
I actually went to my first last week at Sylvania Rotary.
Okay, those are nice people too. Just welcome, Whitney. And thank everyone in this room for allowing me to speak today. The subject is going to be polio, and as you just heard from President Cindy, we have some pretty bad news going on in the polio world. The fact is that I don't know exactly, but at least 50 years since we had polio infections running in the United States. It's now in New York, it's also in London, and it's also in Jerusalem. That's very strange. I don't know what's going on overseas, but the one here in New York is a vaccine-derived polio, which tells you it flew in or it came in from outside, because this country has not used live vaccine for years. So turn the volume up a little. There you go. Is that better? Anyway, there's a problem going on, and as I was talking to Cindy about this, she was saying there's a lot of new Rotarians, just people younger than me, who don't have any experience with polio, and they're wondering why we should continue to support the eradication of polio. And I was thinking that makes sense. If you're younger than me, polio was in the United States, it was it was under control by the 1960s. So you never saw any of your classmates get it. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my background. Imagine me, 65 or so years ago. I was probably about this tall. Whitney, I had black hair and a lot of it. I was living a very happy life. And I don't remember exactly because it's a long time ago, but let's say I was in the second grade. And one of my fellow students, her name was Rosemary. We were contemporaries in the second grade together. And what I remember about Rosemary was that I must have known her. She was in my class, but she was a girl, and who messed around with girls back then? But nonetheless, Rosemary stopped coming to school for a long time, and then she came back. And what I remember was she came back with crutches to walk around, and I'm sure she had something under her skirt because she was the only one in school who had a very long dress, and you can be sure she was teased over that. And then that poor little girl didn't come to school anymore. I don't know what happened to her. I never will, I'm sure. But there was nothing unusual about what happened to Rosemary. The fact of the matter is, it happened 1,000 times a day. Now think about that. The population was much smaller back then, 1,000 times a day. And then tomorrow another 1,000, and the next day another 1,000, and you get the point. If you go to Hicksville, Ohio, everybody here knows where Hicksville, Ohio, we could get there in an hour. If you talk to them, that community was hit especially hard in the 1950s, and they must have thought that they were wiping out all of their first graders. I mean, it was just, our parents lived in fear of this disease. And if you're 5 or 10 years younger than me, you might have had family members that had polio. You might have had older friends that had polio, but you have never, as long as you've been in the US, you've never seen it. That's what we're fighting. When I was in India several years ago, they thought that in Delhi, one city in the world, they thought they had 100,000 crawlers. And I don't mean anything disparaging whatsoever. These are people that are never going to have a normal life. That's what we faced. That's why it's so important what it is that we do. In the 1980s, we made a decision, we made a promise to eradicate this disease from the face of the earth. A gift to all children of the future, and we've done a pretty good job. If we were to ask have this conversation a month ago, I would have said there's two countries in the world, Afghanistan and Pakistan, and that's it. I can't say that today. And the reason, I don't know what's going on in Israel. I don't know what's going on in the United Kingdom. But I'm not prepared for that. This is a problem, and this should not be a problem in a first world country. It shouldn't be a problem anywhere. We have in this country, the person that is infected is an adult, not vaccinated. Can we go back one slide? One more, two more? One more? One more? Okay. Who wants to go back to this? We used to spend our money when we founded Easter Seals. We spent our money on crippled children and other things. We bought crutches and wheelchairs and iron lungs. Cost of an iron lung back then, was about the cost of a house, and we bought them. And we did what we could do. Can I go to the next page? This kid, I took his picture. He happens to be in India. As bad as this is, and as bad as his future is probably going to be, that bed and everything associated with that is paid for by us. We don't want to go back to that. India has fewer crawlers today and has no polio as of today. Can we go to the next slide? On your behalf, I vaccinated this kid. He's not getting polio ever. Can we go to the next one? I just like this picture, and I like the fact that I vaccinated this child too. My major point here is that until it's over, until the last polio case is gone for multiple years, we can't stop doing what we are doing. And I want to thank everyone in this room for the help that they've provided over the years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that. Well, now we're going to get started on the real reason you guys are all here today, our first annual State of the Club presentation. This all came about after last year's foundation update. There were several Rotarians and past presidents that had some questions about this, the state of the information that was provided, some changes that had taken place around that time with our changeover in executive director, us eliminating the assistant position, and some other things. Just really curious if we were standing on our own 2 feet and what was happening, what our plans were for moving forward. So the board and executive committee started talking. We thought it might be good to come up with this so you can kind of see what our goals and vision are, where we stand financially, what we're going to do about growing our membership, participation in grants around here and around the world, and what great work our program committee is doing. So I'm going to kick it off today. Maybe. There we go. Thank you. So borrowing a quote from Charles Kettering, high achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectations. So we as the leadership of our club have high expectations going forward for this year. I've stated them several times, and I'm not going to go in and restate them. But what we're going to try to do is reaffirm the Rotary Club of Toledo as a strong club, and it's one of the first in our area, and we want to let other people know all of the good works that we're doing in the community and around the world. So as you can see, it's our overreaching goal is to reaffirm our club as the preeminence, as the first and best service organization in the area. So briefly, how we're going to do that is by, building our brand. And what we've done is really try to beef up our public image. We have some great leadership with Cindy Kerr and Candace Harrison, who have been working with Jackie primarily, and they'll be meeting with the committee to go through a lot of the ideas that they have as far as promoting the new office space down at the Bell Building. Jim Kniep has been working with us really well there, and we're hoping to get a little bit of signage, either on the wall if we can, work it into our budget, or some type of logos on the first floor windows to let people know that the Rotary Club is strong here in Toledo, and make them aware. They also have some great ideas as far as press releases relating to the grants that we give out. Also trying to get us in with some radio and, TV shows, maybe with, what's his name? Fred the Fever, yes. So we can kind of talk about all the good works that we're doing, and not just the grants, but maybe some of the service projects that we do with Glendale Fieldback. And the other thing that we're working on quite a bit is partnering with other great organizations in town. So if we can do more things with EPIC, we're going to work with the Great Lakes Museum, trying to do a few things with them, and just try to see what we can do with other Rotary clubs as well in our district to make people more aware of the great works we do. Engaged membership, I'm not going to talk too much about this because we have Kevin Mullen and Sierra who are going to touch on this a little bit, but we really believe that that's where all of the goodness is going to come from, the growth of our club. We really need to keep engaging our members in addition to our Monday meetings, offer different ideas, maybe for a makeup meeting, things of that nature, and just try to keep people creating those friendships as Carol was mentioning. Synergized Fellowship goes along with the same thing. We're just really trying to work on creating friendships, not just someone that he's a Rotary member. Our club is not as big as it used to be, but it's still quite large, and it's hard to make those connections with people unless you have more opportunities other than sitting with them at a meeting. So we're going to work hard at that. And we're also going to work hard on having the committees have service projects, not just ones that we give money towards, but ones that we can get our hands dirty and maybe get out and, clean up a community or adopt a highway and do some things like tutoring with kids in the, school districts. Something that we're doing a little bit more than just saying that we're doing good. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, the district projects like the tree project that everyone will be attending on September 10th. Thank you, Greg. And the other, serving our community at home and around the world. We want to keep working on the different grants that we have. We do get quite a few submissions, but we are going to be working with the Greater Toledo Foundation to see if we can't get our name out there a little bit more to get some of these other great programs or 501c3s that don't know about us and don't know the opportunities that they have to get funding for their programs. And we have given the money for someone or a couple of people from the International Services Committee to go to Indiendo to learn about what other great projects there might be around the world. So we're going to work hard on that. And last but not least, I just want to touch on transformational projects. The current 3 that we have right now are pre-K, lead abatement, and a water service project. Shortly, coming up in September, the leaders of those different grants will be meeting with the executive committee to see where we are right now with those grants, if it's something that we're going to move forward with or not. And from what we find out in those meetings, we'll be creating an ad hoc transformational committee group to see what we're going to do going in the future. So we'll be looking for something that we can be transformational here in our own community, such as the stuff we've done with the Metro Parks in the past, but also to see what we can do globally. Maybe we partner with another Rotary Club, the district, or someone else to do a bigger project that we wouldn't be able to do on our own. So all in all, it's going to be a really active and exciting year. I invite you all to participate. You can reach out to myself or any of the people on our executive committee if you have any ideas, especially the transformational projects. We'll want a lot of involvement with that. So got to go to the floor mic, George, please. Primarily, the floor mic is really needed, especially for the people that are in Zoom. Make it an easy one.
Your comments about the lead project.
Mm-hmm.
If I read correctly in the news, the money has been provided by the government to do that, and due to who knows what problems with city government, they can't even get it done with that funding.
I do not know exactly if that's happened, George. I do know that we have
Well-
not given any of our money because they didn't know exactly what to do with it when we started it.
And you're correct, but I think the government has provided the money.
Okay, we'll
And they-
find out from
And I just
Dick
wanted to
Wolf.
make a general comment
Okay,
that even in view of getting that funding, the city and the county are having extreme difficulty getting in gears to do anything with it. So in view of that, I don't know if there's more opportunity for Rotary or less, but it is a major problem.
yep. No, I appreciate that, and I think that's something Dick will probably let us know how that's moving along. Thank you very much. Alrighty, up next, I have Travis, who will be giving us a financial update. And I did forget to mention that we had a couple new cast of characters here today. Jackie was not with us to give us her executive director update. She did videotape it with the help of Kevin, and it will be following Travis here. And unfortunately, Pat Sheehan is not here with us today because he had a family emergency, and Travis will give us a little bit of update on that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, actually, Cindy, thanks for introducing that. I am up here because Pat did have a family emergency. Late on Thursday evening, he was informed that his 5-year-old granddaughter was taken to the hospital with what appears to be tumors that were discovered. And with his permission, Pat put something out on Caring Bridge the other night that I'd like to share with you. His granddaughter's name is Olivia. In recent weeks, Olivia had some unexplained symptoms that worsened, and on Wednesday, August 17th, Jason and Lauren took her to the ER. An MRI showed a tumor around her right jaw muscle. She was admitted to the hospital. On Thursday, a CT scan showed additional tumors in her lungs. On Friday night, a biopsy was performed, and preliminary results are expected in the next few days. The biopsy was extremely hard on Olivia. She was in a lot of pain with a very swollen face and was unable to talk or swallow. It was a miserable 48 hours for her, but she snapped out of it tonight. She had some applesauce, a smoothie, and read dozens of cards that her Sunday school friends prepared for her this morning. The doctors believe Olivia may have rhabdomyosarcoma. Rhabdo is a rare type of cancer that most often affects children. Medical facts aside, we are scared. We know only that we will work through this through God's never-ending love and support and prayers from our family and friends. We ask that you please add Olivia and our family to your prayer lists. We also ask you to join us with prayers of concern and celebration for 2 big upcoming events. Olivia turns 5 on Friday, August 26th. We pray that Olivia will be feeling well enough to enjoy her big day. In addition, Lauren is due to deliver child/daughter number 3 on September the 4th. We pray that Lauren and baby stay healthy over these next several days. Olivia and her sister Avery, who is 3, are excited to have another sister. We will keep you posted. Thank you. I ask that everyone here please keep Olivia, her parents, her sister, Pat and Elaine in your prayers and your thoughts. Thank you. On to the fun topic of financials. Since the pandemic started, at the time I took over from Jim Canepa as Secretary Treasurer. Pat followed me in that role. We have been doing our absolute best at being extremely fiscally conservative and responsible with the club's money. Some of the things we've heard over the years is, are we hurting because of membership? Are we hurting here? And I want you to know we have a very stable financial position right now. So, state up here, our income statements here, as you can see, fiscal year 21-22, we had a total income of $259,289. We are budgeting this year for $213,50. We are budgeting, and so our budget is not quite finalized. There's some small topics still to be discussed, but we are budgeting at 0 growth. We are being extremely conservative. We know we're going to add members. We're not worried about that. But we didn't want to count if we didn't have it. So all these numbers you're going to see are extremely conservative on what we look to see. Next, our expenses. Again, our expenses last year were $265,570. We did end up with a net loss last year. And if you'll notice under bad debt, there's your reason. So when we asked everyone to pay their dues in June this year, that is because of the bad debt we incurred for people who stayed last year and never paid their dues. So that is why the board decided to take an aggressive stance of saying you're either in or you're not. So everybody here, thank you. I appreciate your understanding. I appreciate you all committing to the club. We are budgeting a much smaller number of bad debt, and we don't even envision seeing that $2,000, but we're being realistic. But we do see a massive change there. So we are budgeting, and I'm not a fan of budgeting in the red, but we are budgeting for about a $20,000 loss this year. We hope that is not the case because we do envision growing this club. But again, coming out of a pandemic, we feel that we're in a solid position as a club with who our members are and where we're going. We did not see this as a time to start introducing things like dues increases, increasing costs of lunch. Right now, we want to maintain status quo, and we focus on how to make this place great and how do we grow. So we are budgeting towards a loss. We hope to not see that loss. That is the same two slides put next to each other. You notice down at the bottom it says includes $12,000 for marketing. We are putting a lot of efforts towards marketing. We don't know that that number is really a legitimate, number. It's just one we're kind of putting in there as a placeholder. But that is a large thing. It's dollars put towards the growth of the club. So just wanted to point that out. Also, I want to make sure. You'll notice that the foundation assessment. The club board and the foundation board has been working in really good faith together to figure out what the right number of the assessment is. So for those of you who don't know what the foundation assessment is, each year the foundation pays the club for things like rent, their full portion of our office space, for parts of the executive director's salaries, whatever that percentage should be for what they're using. There was a formula created probably around 2017, 18 that brought us to the number that you see was last year of about 60,000. We're working really well right now to figure out, what's the right number so that we're doing right by the foundation and where that money really truly is intended to go. So that number that's in there of $25,000 for this year is not finalized. It's rough, it's close. But between ourselves, Brian and the execs over at the foundation, we're going to get to the right number that is fair and also fiduciary, that's the wrong word, but financially responsible. So, and finally, where we stand today, and as I said, we are standing in a very strong position financially. So due to being conservative over the past few years, we have reduced our expenses everywhere we could. We have brought things down. We are actually currently sitting in a position of $372,000, $685 in cash. So as we did say, we budgeted for a small loss this year. It is in no way a large impact on our overall financials. So as you can see, we're balancing out at about $424,985 for our balance sheet. And with that, that is the sheets I have from Pat. So I'm happy to entertain questions, but make them easy because I'm a history major. Okay. Oh. Hey, Bob, can you use the microphone? I'm sorry. And remember, easy. Or at least nice.
Mostly easy, I think. Where does the foundation corpus stand today? And the balance sheet does look nice, especially the top half of it. Liabilities are a good jump higher. Is there one or two things that contribute to that?
One there is actually because we billed early this year. In June, we had a large dollar amount that actually came in June that needed to be paid out in this fiscal year. So that's the reason for the jump there, is just because we received so much money in June. That was the explanation I received. Yeah, so is that right? Yeah. What was the question about the foundation? I'm sorry.
What's the corpus total? The amount
General fund's about 4.3 to 4.4.
About 4.3 to 4.4 million was the answer. All right. Great. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hi there. Welcome to the Rotary office. I wanted to start off by saying thank you to everybody for helping me have a great year this past Rotary year. It is my first year as Rotary Executive Director here in Toledo, and we've had many great successes thanks to the leadership and people like you. So I'd like to say thank you to past President Bob DiNardo, past Foundation Chair Mary Mancini, the club board, and the Foundation trustees. We are off to a great start this year thanks to the leadership of Club President Cindy Binkley and the Board of Directors on the club, as well as the leadership of Foundation Chairman Brian Kennedy and the Board of Trustees of the Foundation. I'm looking forward to a great second year here as the Toledo Rotary Executive Director, working with our committee chairs and following the path that President Cindy has laid out for us with her vision and goals for this year. Here at the Rotary office, we've officially settled into the Bell building on Madison Avenue, thanks to Rotarian Jim Kniep for being a wonderful landlord. If you haven't been here, you should come check it out. I'd be happy to have a cup of coffee here at my desk with you. We are looking to roll out a fall intern here soon in the office. That would be wonderful to have a second set of hands on deck, so keep an eye out for that information and the person who will be joining me at Monday meetings in the future. So I'm really excited about where we're heading here with the Rotary Club of Toledo. I'm excited for all of you to be here with this journey that we're on. As you may have heard, we recently onboarded 12 new members in the last 3 months, as well as 3 reinstated members who were previously with us. So we have a lot of excitement in the year ahead, and we are so happy that you're with us.
Like Jackie said, if you get a chance, stop up and visit with her. It really is a great space, and she's really enjoying working there downtown. Next up, we have Bob Tucker, who will give us an update on the program committee.
Thank you, Cindy. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bob Tucker. I'm the chair of our program committee in my second year doing that. Our vice chair is Chuck Mann, who I think most of you know, and we have a number of very active members on our committee who work diligently behind the scenes to make sure that we have interesting and engaging speakers for you at our Monday meetings. This Rotary year, we've tried to have more speakers that come from the business world than we may have had in the recent past. Examples of this include our recent speakers, Vincent DePaffi from SSOE and Jim Konsikis from Dana just this past month. We also continue to have speakers from all industries to speak on what will hopefully be interesting and timely topics for you. Furthermore, we're trying to continue to have our speakers come in person rather than virtually. That's a more engaging experience for everybody here in the room, and it works better technologically, even for the folks who are attending by Zoom. We currently have programs scheduled pretty much through the end of this calendar year, with a number of approved programs that we've yet to schedule. Some topics that you have to look forward to in the upcoming months include lead levels and their impact, drugs and guns in our community from the perspective of a federal district court judge, servant leadership at the airline industry today, and of course annual events such as our holiday program and our Foundation Day. The program committee is always looking for good speaker ideas. You don't have to be an active member of the committee to make a nomination. Any Rotarian can nominate a speaker. There's a form on the website, but it's probably just easier to reach out to me or to Jackie, and we'll tell you what information we need, and we'll go on with it. Our committee meets once a month currently. Our next meeting is September 26th after our Monday meeting. I invite anybody who's interested in having a say in who our speakers are to come to a meeting and get involved. And even if you don't do that, please nominate speakers you may know or know of that you think would be interesting. And also the surveys you get in your email after every Monday meeting about the speaker, those are actually very helpful. And we do take those into consideration. So please fill those out too. That's what I have. Thank you very much.
I swear every time I get nervous or have to make a presentation, I break a nail. I'm not kidding. This is a thing. It's already happened. Thank God today is nail day. Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra Hutton, and I am the membership chair, and I am super excited to share a few things about what we're doing this year. Coming up in just the next few weeks is the whole year. So I will just start off by saying thanks, Bob. You have been doing an incredible job with the program, so that helps the membership chair because you guys show up to meetings and you learn about what we have going on. So if you didn't know, we are this club, each and every one of you are a part of a 1.4 million person Rotarian community. So it's a big deal. We're a part of something much larger than us. And getting involved and getting to know your fellow Rotarians, that makes such a difference, not only here in the meetings, but in our community, which is exactly what we're here to do. So what to expect this year? If I get too far away from the mic, will someone just tell, Carol, I know you will tell me, okay? Just let me know because I move a lot. So the cool thing to expect this year is that we have a ton of ways to get engaged outside of these meetings. So obviously we want to see each and every one of you at this meeting. We want every seat to be filled. We want it to be like last week where we were bringing chairs in, but we want to see you outside of these meetings as well. And there is something for everyone. Plus we are putting a large focus on new members. Like you guys said, I think we have 12 new members, or Jackie said in that video, we've already onboarded 12 new, and we have so many. We have a guest here who hopefully joins us, so many on deck to come. And then obviously we're going to have fun. I mean, look at how I entered this. How are we not going to have fun? So as for engagement, if you guys didn't know, last month we started our monthly coffee meeting. So the first Tuesday of every month is a coffee meeting, and it's just 8 to 9. You don't have to RSVP. You can show up if you would like. It's at the Onyx, which is over in the Maumee Bay Brewing Company building. It's a great place. It's a local place, perfect to give your support to, but to also just sit down. We had about 12 members show up last month, or this month, and it was just a nice opportunity just to get to know people outside of the meeting. Also, because we all love coffee, but we all love to drink too. So we do have happy hour. Sorry, Father, I know that I probably shouldn't. You're looking right at me. We all do enjoy water outside of these meetings and coffee, okay? Man, I'm not Catholic, but I'm suddenly feeling like I need to go repent. So we will have happy hours outside. Those are the third Wednesday of every month from 4:30 to 6. The location is going to be changing. We just had one last week. It was great. I think we had nearly 15 or 16 people show up. You don't have to stay the whole time. Like I said, this is very low key. You show up, you stay for as long as you can. You have one water, and then you leave, okay? And then other things we have going on. So we will be doing one unique event per week or per month at least. So you guys noticed we did a Mud Hens game earlier this summer. We did an awesome event on the Sandpiper just 2 weeks ago, I think. I found out today that we have a UT event coming up very soon, so check your email for that. We also have another Mud Hens game. We're going to do fall outings out at McQueen. So we have a lot of things planned, and they're not just adult friendly. They're actually family friendly, most of them. So that way, those of you with children, if you want to bring them, you feel welcome to do so at some of them. We want to get to know not just you as a member, but your entire family as well. So that's the kind of engagement we'll be doing. And then as for recruitment, we'll be rolling out a new program called Imagine One. So you all may remember a few years ago where we had the program where if you sponsored a new member, you got put into a raffle for your free lunches for the next Rotary year. We're going to be doing that again starting next month, and it'll be called Imagine One to go along with the Imagine Rotary theme that they have this year. And then along with new member mentorship, so Heather and Nelson in here have been working to just bring back our new member mentorship program that we had. So when new members join us, they'll be actually paired with another seasoned vet in the room, and they'll have activities that they have to do together, like sit together at the meetings, go to a committee meeting, maybe have coffee outside of this meeting. So that way they feel we're not just bringing people in, signing them up, and then it's like baptism by fire, good luck. Okay, so we want people to feel welcomed and get to know other people. And then we will have guest oriented events. So like the happy hours and the coffees, if you have guests who you think would like to join us, maybe they can't make it to a lunch for a while, invite them to those events so that way we can get to know them and tell them what Rotary is all about. And then the new member orientation. So once a month we'll have, or once a quarter we'll have a mixer for new members, but we'll also be doing an orientation that's more formal where they'll get to know board members, committee members, and things like that as well. So just to wrap this up, I know you guys are most importantly wondering how we're going to make this all fun, other than a lot of events with libations, water, good food, good fellowship, things like that. We also are going to be very much focused on networking and hands-on activities. So we'll be partnering the membership committee a lot with community services, and that way we're partnering a lot more within the community, getting our hands wet, working with the groups that we're funding, and getting to know those programs and those people who run those programs. So that way, like we do service above self, we actually are doing that in all parts of our membership here. And then, like I said, making a difference in our community. So that's all I got for you guys. I only broke one nail today. That's a plus. Any questions? I'm running before, I knew it. Gary, yes, you are my favorite. You are my favorite person on membership committee. You don't need to make that a thing. Gary, I accidentally said this to Gary before the meeting, and now I'm paying for it.
I just wanted to know if you could give us an update on where we're at with membership, if we're a net gain, net, or net, at a slight loss, or I don't know if you had that information or if that would come from someone else.
Okay, I'm gonna actually, as much as I would love to answer that question,
Throw it over to Kevin.
Kevin actually would like to.
All right, we'll let it go. Thanks.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Mullen, proud to serve as the vice president of this club. I'll reiterate what Sierra said. Bob and Chuck on the program committee, you guys have been doing an incredible job. We've had some unbelievable speakers this year. One of my favorite parts of Rotary is, hey, there's the obvious great program. We've had 2 of them the last 2 weeks, but there have been countless times that I've seen a speaker or a presentation and I'm just like, I don't want to go to this. And then I go anyway because I'm here for you guys. I'm here with you guys, and I come for the company, and the speaker just wows me. And I learned something new, and it's just been really impressive. So I challenge you guys, don't just come to let's be clear, you're all here today, so you're not coming here for the presentation. You're here for the fellowship. I'm preaching to the choir, so the folks on Zoom, I'm talking to you mostly. Come back into the room and join us. I'll also say, Sierra, so I am Catholic. I went to the other boys' school in town, so I won't speak to the oblates, but I will say Jesus turned water into wine. And the Jesuits have been turning wine bottles into empty wine bottles for decades, so you're good. So a couple of things for us to talk about membership engagement. COVID had a pretty significant impact on our club. It did 2 things. So we not only lost members, but it also stalled membership recruitment, right? And so it's like, our revenue went down and our cost of goods went up. And that hurt us twice. And so, we lost more members in 2020 than the 3 previous years combined. That's significant, right? That's hard to come back from. But we're going to do it. We had 93 new members added in 2020 to 2022. In 2018, we had 73 new members in that year alone. So we can do it. We can build this club back. The question was asked about how many members do we have today. We're right around 250 between active and honorary members. We're right around that 250, 260 range. I think we budgeted 275, so maybe that's the real number paid that we're at, somewhere in there. And we believe that I see no reason why we can't be up over 300. But the goal for us isn't just quantity, it's quality, and that means engagement. So what is membership engagement? We know when you're engaged, you give more, you get more, and you share more. What that means is, club satisfaction goes up, member retention goes up. Your ROI will increase. The more you engage in the club, the more you give, the more you'll get. And then increase foundation giving, and you'll recruit more new members. So we know the more engaged you are, the more you're going to feel connected to the club, the more you're going to support our mission and help advance what we're doing, not just here, but around the world. It's a hybrid world, and it's going to be a hybrid world from here on out. So Zoom is here to stay. We know that engagement and connection is different in a hybrid world than it is in a virtual world, than it is in an in-person world. But we're going to do our best to work between our membership committees, our program committees, all of our club service committees to make sure that we're doing everything we can to foster engagement in all of those different environments. The other thing I think is important is that in 2022, engagement is in the eye of the beholder. We used to be able to measure engagement by attendance on Mondays. You'd look in the room and say they're engaged, they're not engaged. We can't do that anymore. There's 25 people that are joining us right now on Zoom that are just as engaged as Zach Vassar is. He's not paying attention, that's why I say that. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep people engaged and connected, encourage them to come back into the room. We know that in person we form better relationships than we do virtually. So that's going to be our priority moving forward, but we need to have that alternate plan. There's more ways to engage with Rotary than just attending Monday meetings. Sure, we've got our Monday meetings, we've got our service projects. Those are the two common areas that you'll think about engagement. But our service committees, attending a committee meeting counts as Monday attendance. That's why we take attendance at the committee meetings. Site visits, planning of the service projects, the social committees, bowling, golf, IYFR, bicycling, book club. There's a new tennis club that Travis and I just came up with a couple of days ago, and it's going to happen. The social gatherings, Women in Rotary, the monthly coffee and happy hour events are just other ways, just a few other ways for you to get involved. I mentioned that tennis club. Look, if you've got ideas and you can convince one other crazy Rotarian that it's a good idea, it's approved. So we want you to connect with other members on things that you care about. We know that bonds and friendships are formed over commonality. And so if you have a love of wine, you can join Sierra in the new Wine Aficionado Club. Father O, I know you're going to be there. So whatever that idea is, we encourage you to bring it forward, find other people to get engaged with it, and build true, strong, wonderful relationships with fellow Rotarians. To that point, I had an idea a couple of years ago, and COVID sort of stalled it. But we're going to start a new committee called the In Case You Missed It Committee. I've heard since I joined Rotary, people say, "Oh, I can't join the club because I can't make lunch on Monday," or "I've got a standing meeting that showed up on Monday." Don't worry about it. In case you missed it, you can show up for coffee on Thursday. So starting in September, we're going to start it once a month, a coffee meeting where we'll replay. We'll say the best of Rotary that month, and we'll revisit the meeting and give you a chance to get club activities, connect with other members, and it creates another opportunity for, look, there's 75 to 80 members of our club that are engaged in the meeting today. That means there's still about 200 who weren't able to make it today. So in case they miss it, they can show up for coffee on Thursday, and I'll have Travis give them the entire presentation all over again. Exactly. That's why there's coffee. So we talked about new members. I just want to reiterate this for everybody in the club, fly through some of these things for you. So there's 3 different ways to join our club: corporate membership, under 40 and over 40. The pricing is different in all 3 of those structures. If you're under 40, it's $275 a year. If you're over 40, it's $550 a year. Corporate membership, the entry fee is $500 and the dues are $1,500 per year. So I want to talk about corporate membership because we're changing some things on that. I think it's important to identify the benefits. And this isn't just for corporate membership, but really these are the benefits for all membership. You're connected, committed, and involved. You've got access to those over 1 million Rotarians and 35,000 clubs around the world, and you're guaranteed admission into any of their meetings. So as much as the Rotary Club of Tucson or Rotary Club of Slovenia would want to keep Kevin Mullen from coming into the room, there's not a damn thing they can do. I'm coming in. You're committed. You show your employees as a corporate member that you're committed to service above self at a corporate level. And we know that that permeates the entire culture of the company. Even if it's just a couple of folks in the company that are a part of our club, we know it'll make a company-wide difference. And you're involved. You understand, by connecting with other business leaders in our community, the true needs of our company and the solutions that are taking place, and you get to be a part of those. It's valuable, it's flexible, and it's affordable. So here's the proposed due structure change for corporate membership. Right now, if you're a corporate member, you get 2 members that get to join the club. We're going to increase that to 3. So you're going to have 2 active members and 1 alternate member. That could be your CEO, or that could be another member of the club that's going to fill in for the CEO if they are not able to attend. All 3 of those members are welcome to attend every meeting as often as they can. If you'd like to add additional members, and this is not currently an option for our corporate members, you can add additional members, an active member at $275 and an inactive member for $150 a year. This is a way for us to extend the value, extend the culture of Rotary out to your entire corporate community. So you don't have to look at your entire company and say, who are the 2 people I'm going to send to Rotary? It's how do I get everybody all in on Rotary so that we can make a greater impact together. There's a lot of different reasons why you'd want to join Rotary. This is just 20 of them that I stole from Flint, Michigan Club. Just telling you, yeah, there's no secret handshake, folks. If there is, no one's told me, and I'm going to take it personally. So there's a lot of different reasons to join Rotary. Whatever your reason is, we encourage you to share the gift of Rotary. Continue to get engaged, and I know today we're preaching to the choir, to the folks in the room and the folks online. But challenge the folks that you haven't seen, the folks that aren't here. Reach out to someone and invite them to come back to a Rotary meeting, or have coffee with them, or invite them to attend one of the happy hours or bowling or something else to continue to grow our great club. Any questions? Great. Oh, yes. I'm a communications major, so it could be a hard question. I'm probably not going to answer it either way.
No, it'll be easy. Briefly, what is the difference between an active and an alternate member in the corporate
That's a
world?
great question. Yeah, so it's a subtle difference. So the inactive or the alternate member is not able to serve as the chair of a committee and can't vote. That's it. Yep.
Hey, Kevin, great job.
Thank you.
Years ago, they used to have you could go to a plant. And I remember one time going to Davis Spessy, for example, or to the Andersons. And we have the corporate membership, and that can be a big attraction, getting to a plant or something like that. It makes the company aware of it. It's a great outing. I just throw that out as something to take a look at.
Yeah, I love some of our Rotary on the roads, a chance to go see places that we otherwise wouldn't. And I think that's the benefit of being a club of our size, is that we can not only get great speakers to come here, but we also can open up facilities to go see. The tour of the 180th is a great example that you get a chance to go behind those walls and get to see what's happening in our own backyard that you would otherwise miss. And so I think that's a great opportunity and a chance for us to engage with corporations as well. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions for any of the presenters? Nope, great. I'd like to thank all of you for doing this. Sierra, Bob, Tim for giving us the polio update, and Travis and Kevin. You guys did a fabulous job, so thank you so much. It is my honor to call up Chuck Mann to the podium for Chuck's Chuckles. And I was not drinking, I swear.
I can see we're going to have to tighten up that handshake a little bit. Today is National Tooth Fairy Day. Here are some actual letters written by actual children. I do not think that you just gave me a reasonable amount of money, because $1 is not going to cut it. It's my first molar. Come on, maybe $5 will do. Thank you. Please respond, Ellie. Please leave me more than $1 because Mama said you're cheap. It's from Nicola. Ever since we moved here, I've lost 3 teeth so far, and you didn't come yet. So you need to find where we live and bring me $3 and get your life together. And finally, I know you're not real, but here's my tooth. If it's Dad, you owe me $5 for the tooth and $5 for licking the chili spoon, so you owe me $10.
Thanks so much, Chuck. I know she's not in the room, but I wanted to thank Cassidy from the library for pitching in and helped set up today in Jackie's absence. Made things run a lot smoother, so I'll try to, if you see her, please tell her thank you. Next week on the agenda, on August 29th, please join us for John Hardig. He's a scientist and author and will be talking to us about the Great Lakes Way, and the meeting will be right here at the library. There's one committee meeting today. A Youth Services Committee will be meeting on the lower level down by the parking garage. I'd like again to thank our people that participated in the panel today. It was great. Welcome, Whitney. We hope to see you again here. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.